All right, I think we're live here tonight on Bob Talk, September 2023. I'm going to try and get my cell phone open. It's open. We got a couple little things to talk about tonight, and we will see how things go here tonight. Out here at the house, I was going to do it at the shop. Turned around and did everything right here. So we are live. I think we're live. It says we're live on the screen anyway. So tonight's topic, trying to figure out what do we talk about, where do we go, things like that, and always come back to something good, bad, and different. We all in the Midwest here are looking at how dry it is. We're actually out watering some trees that we put in last fall. It's been so dry on them, so we got running out there, changing the sprinkler. Mary's running around changing sprinkler and getting the sprinkler on those young trees to get them some moisture last few days here. So speaking about how dry it is, I thought tonight we would talk about foam and what is foam, how does it work, foam, what foam to use, things like that. So I got a couple empty buckets here. First one is the ChemGuard Direct Attack Class A foam concentrate, USDA approved, biodegradable, Class A foam, emulsifier, however you want to look at Class A foam. There are people out there that say there's an AB foam. I'll also bring B foam up here in a little bit, but those Class A, Class B foams are an emulsifier, which is just a wetting agent, which is only used on hydrocarbons, your polar solvents and things like that. Isn't necessarily the best thing for those Class A, Class B combination foams. So 90% of what we do, or 95% of what we do, I guess if you look back at articles, probably about 10 years ago or 8 years ago, there was an article on foam, and it said 98% of the fires that we fight as firefighters are Class A fires. Now we say that, and me being the extrication guy that most people know me as, we have all these electric cars coming, or the future is electric cars, whether it be the Tesla or a hybrid Toyota Prius, things like that. Specifically says right in the Tesla manual to not use any kind of foam. So foam's kind of out of the equation on there. It says what is the word that they use? A copious amount of water. Some people say a copious amount is 60 to 100,000 gallons of water. So we're kind of getting a little off topic on the foam and what we're doing, but for the electric cars, at least right now, they're suggesting they don't use any type of foam on them whatsoever. There's a couple of products out there. There's a couple blankets out there that you can lay over them and suffocate them. Well, that works and probably puts flames out for a short period of time, but how long you'll leave it over it? Will it cool off by then? There's a lot of unknowns yet in that side of the world. But back to Class A foam, and really Class A foam, what it does, breaks up the surface tension of the water, kind of like I was always kind of educated on the fact that a duck on water, the surface tension of that water, and you put Class A foam in there, and it breaks up that surface tension and lets the water or the moisture absorb into what product you're trying to do. Let's say a structure fire, which is wood, for the most part, wood construction. There's a lot of steel stuff going up nowadays, but wood construction, 2x4s, 2x6s, things like that, your studded walls, all of those things are really Class A foam absorbent, so to speak. Even I like to look at as Class A foam as something that will create an ash. Even car tires create an ash. Yeah, there's a lot of petroleum product in there, but this will at least cool that down and allow the moisture or the cooling effect of the moisture to get into whatever may be burning there. So Class A foam, Sandry Fire, and the product specialists at Sandry Fire always try and sell direct attack because of the USDA approvals for that biodegradable, things like that. We all probably should know by now that if it's round bales on fire or square bales on fire or barn fire, the cattle get just a whiff of that smell of that burnt hay. They won't touch it. So you're better off just somehow unrolling the bales and plowing them into the field, whatever that is, better for the field and the crops than it is sitting there because the cattle are not going to touch it. So Class A foam will help get that water down in that bale, and you can put it in the percentage of anywhere from 0.1% to 1%. That's Class A foam. Concentrate to how percentage-wise what you can run it at or what is recommended. Anything over 1%, they always said, was just wasting foam. So you get into a silage fire or silo fire up there, crank your reductor up to that 1% and let it sit there. It'll make great bubbles. If you have an aspirator for your nozzles, you can make good bubbles. And every time the bubbles break, it's dropping water down into that burning product, whatever that may be. So the direct attack Class A foam, biodegradable, USDA approved. That's what we have. We got quite a few pallets of that. Go ahead and call your product specialist on Class A foam. Again, there's a Class A, Class B. ChemGuard does have an AB foam. Again, the only thing it's doing is hydrocarbons, and there again, you got to look at what percentage that it's rated to be flowed at. 3%, 6%, 1%. Most Class B foams is either 3 or 6. There are some 1% out there. Viscosity level of that foam will go through your reductor and things like that. You just got to kind of find out what you're protecting in your area and how do you want to protect it. Is it with B foam or is it A foam or an AB emulsifying wetting agent? That's what emulsifying is a wetting agent. So just understand that. Our product specialist, with ChemGuard, can bring in a Class A, Class B foam. Again, it's Class A and Class B hydrocarbon only. So think about that, how that works for you. Now the big buzz out there in the fire service today is on the Class B side of things, and what do we know, what don't we know about Class B foam, things like that. That really Class B foam always, when those bubbles went out there and they broke, they created a blanket, or what I like to call a saran wrap, kind of over that vapors and that fluid, so it could suppress the vapors. And a lot of that is from the fluorination. You see that non-fluorinated. Obviously, everybody's probably seen the advertisement out there where have you used fluorinated foam in your fire department the last 40 years? Yeah, everybody has. So now they're saying has to be non-fluorinated. You folks that have Class B foam in your station that's not stated right on the pail, non-fluorinated, should discard it. It's probably going to cost you more to discard it than what you paid for it back then. That's one of those things that you just got to understand how to work with that. Maybe contact the Sandry Fire product specialist. You can go to probably like a Safe Clean or something like that in your area. You get into the bigger cities, they're all over the place. You can usually find one down here in Davenport or out in Des Moines, Omaha and Lincoln area. A Safe Clean, somebody that does environmental cleanup stuff. They'll probably take that in, and like I said, it's probably going to cost you more than when you paid for the foam 10, 15, 5 years ago, whatever that might be. But now your Class B foam must be non-fluorinated. As you see, this one is a 3x3. There's a 1-3 out there. There's a 3x3 out there. There's a 3-6 out there. What do you want to use, or what are you using it for? Again, really kind of pre-planning your area and understanding your district or your fire protection area. What do you have in there? What are you protecting in that area? I like to always trying to get to the point of Class B foam and doing a 3-3. Really makes things, I like to say, simple. You set your reductor on 3% on one of your discharge side. Now, if you have an inline reductor that goes on the side of your truck, look at your GPM that's stamped right on the side of your reductor. Most folks don't even look at that. They grab a nozzle off their truck and they wonder why they can't make foam. Number one, first step, look at your reductor. What is it? Is it 95 GPM? Is it 125 GPM? Things like that. And then read up a little bit on how that works with your nozzle. You have an aspirator for your nozzle. to make bubbles, to aspirate it. With that, do you have a line gauge? So during training, you can put your line gauge out there at 150 feet or 200 feet and see that you're pushing 100 psi out to the butt of your nozzle, so that if it's 100 psi nozzle or 75 psi or 100 psi, are you putting the right psi pressure to your nozzle, which will create a Venturi effect to pull your Class B foam out to your nozzle and create some bubbles. Whether you hit it off the ground and deflect it up, whether you hit it on the side of a building and let it run off, hitting a car, whatever that may be, that's just running Class B foam or really any foam. How you can aspirate it to make bubbles. How can I make bubbles? That's the thing you're trying to do with foam, to make that blanket. So when the bubbles break on the Class A side, it's putting water down into the product. On the Class B side, we're trying to make a vapor barrier suppressant, so we hold our vapors down to eliminate the reignition of those vapors. So things like that, that really the simple side of Class A or Class B foam and what's out there, and how you're going to work with those things. So know that on the new side of Class B is non-fluorinated. Sandry Fire and the product specialists, they all would recommend the ChemGuard non-fluorinated 3x3. Again, so you at the fire department, look at your reductors, see what your GPM is, and then put it on 3%. The old Ronco thing, set it and forget it. Set it on 3%, where if you got a 1.3, okay, I can pull out my orange or yellow DOT book and go, okay, what am I supposed to set it at? What percentage should I set it at? Things like that when you're looking at your foams, on how your foams are going to work for you, so to speak. So you can go out there and see those things for that type of foam, and again, what's going to best work for you on your fire department and your fire department scenes to be safe for you guys and gals out there. Obviously, the first thing is wearing your SCBA face piece, good seal on your face, and then have your reductor set up at the percentage you want to run it at. And if you have an aspirator for the end of your nozzle to put some air into it to make some bubbles, life's a good thing. So non-fluorinated ChemGuard 3.3, jeepers, it's gotten really expensive. I think it's getting close to $300 a pail now. It's crazy, but that's where everything's at, is crazy. But non-fluorinated is all we're selling. 3x3 is all we're selling. If it's something on your department that you want 3.6 or you want 1.3, I'd even have to look back to see if you can get it in the non-fluorinated, and I'm sure you can in the 3.6. I don't know about the 1.3, but we stock the 3x3. So if your department needs 15 gallons, 3 pails on your engine for ISO accreditation, you better pull your old stuff off and make sure that it's non-fluorinated, ChemGuard, whatever, BosCheck. There's all kinds of foams out there. But in the Midwest here, Sandry Fire is a ChemGuard dealer, and we're stocking and have quite a bit on hand for 3.3. So when you get rid of your old Class B foam down to Safe Cleaner, whomever your environmental company is around your area, come back in with 3 pails of 3.3 non-fluorinated, so you get your ISO credit for your engine. So that's that. And then again, back to the Class A foams. Bob has always been that guy that's not believed that there's a A/B foam that truly works for A and B fires, all of the above, blankets everything. It just doesn't, in my world, doesn't work that way. There's too many variables with a B situation. I always like to say it's liquid coming out of a barrel, transmission fluid, polar solvents, naphtha, back in my days of working as a machine tool and die worker, things like that, polar solvents. What are you dealing with, especially in a big chemical fire? What do you have at a big chemical plant? Ethanol plant, you know what you got there. For the most part, you get gasoline. So how are you going to control that and control the vapors, really, is the big thing. control those vapors and get the ignition source, one of the ignition sources, away from your fires. But again, 98 to 99% of the fires we fight, Class A fires. That's really what it is. Whether it's a ditch on fire, whether it's a hay bale or combine on fire, that's all going to be ag stuff, and you can put out with Class A foam at probably less than 0.5%, maybe down to 3.3% or so. A big thing is aspirator with your nozzle. Is there an aspirator out there for your nozzle so you can make some bubbles with that Class A or Class B foam? It really doesn't matter. But those are really the two things to look at. Sand Refire and the product specialist all across the Midwest here stock that from all the way from Lincoln back here to DeWitt. So there's quite a bit of foam out there to northeast Iowa, up to everywhere. So if you're looking at what we got coming up here, harvest season, do you have Class A foam? It works great on a field fire. You got that combine on fire, you got the cornfield on fire. Class A foam will really knock it down in a hurry and a lot less likely to reignite. The old word out there that the fire service has inherently accepted for decades, is centuries, I guess, probably really, is rekindle. Well, no, we didn't really rekindle. Well, it didn't start again unless somebody started it. We just didn't put it out. That's the big part of it. Class A foam will help you do that because it's 98 to 99% of what we do is Class A fires. So get yourself some Class A foam out there with our product specialist, and lower that frequency of running that tanker back and forth to a field fire, things like that. Class A foam. We got that coming up with harvest here and across the Midwest with beans and corn. I was just on an ATV ride up in Marquette McGregor, and holy smokes, are the fields dry. So hopefully everybody, all the farmers out there, take it easy. Understand that we do need moisture, but I also know they have to get their harvest in this fall. So us as a fire service should have a few pails of Class A on board, at least our brush trucks and maybe our pumpers. You can batch mix it. You can figure out pretty easily, quickly, at 1%, 99 gallons of water, 1 gallon of foam, 1 gallon of a 5-gallon pail. Ain't much you're going to use there. So just think about how much will you need, or run it really in a field fire. You can run it below. You can probably run it at 0.3%. So you're using so little Class A foam, but it will eliminate a lot of the tanker shuttle back and forth, bring them more water. Use your Class A foam and eliminate that. And people say, well, it's expensive. Well, wait a minute. How many runs did I make with my 3,000-gallon tanker to go out there and have? They like to say 80% of the water and regular water runs off. If you go out there today, the ground's so hard, so terribly hard, that it just runs off. It don't even get a chance to go down into the ground. So where this Class A foam will help break up the surface tension of the water, and they like to say flips that number, only 20% runs off because it's holding in them bubbles and it's bursting and getting a chance to absorb into the ground or into the product. Again, hay bales, cornfield, ditches, whatever. Hopefully some of you have put little Foam Pro 1500 or Scotty systems on your brush rigs, and you can run that at, like I said, well below 0.5%, and make a huge difference on how much water you spread across that field. Not that we care, but we do, because that's diesel fuel. Oh, let me think. I filled up my truck today or yesterday, and it was $4.15 a gallon for diesel fuel. How many tanker runs 10 miles out and 10 miles back did it pay for one of those pails of foam? I think pretty quick, it add up pretty quickly that this is the cheaper route than the manpower, hours out there, water runoff, all of that. Biodegradable, USDA approved, Class A foam. Way to go. Bingo. As I said earlier, when we do have those fires, even a brush fire, you have those, oh my gosh, I think they're hot spots, the grass fire mask that you can use, or if you have a face piece and you can put an APR adapter on and have filters, for organic vapors, it's like that. So it's face pieces. I come back to say, have a good seal on your face piece. I always like to say, as a fire service, if you're going to be ready to serve your community, you should be clean shaven. Obviously, except for Bob's mustache that I, again, have had for decades. I've shaved it off there for a while, and it comes back. And I think I do it more now to irritate the boss lady, and she'll tell you that's what I do it for. So, yep, she's in the background yelling at me. So, other than that, nice clean shaven face. You get a good seal on your face piece, which then if you're out there in a field fire and you're using an APR adapter or one of them hot shields, I guess it is, mask to help breathe and things like that. So it's an unsafe environment that we work in as firefighters. I've been doing it for a long time. Still feel pretty healthy. I'm pretty blessed to be here. Wonderful lady, 5 wonderful kids, 4 wonderful grandkids. So you always want to protect yourself again and stay clean shaven. So saying that, face pieces. If anybody's been following the Sandry Fire Facebook page at all today, we got these are 2 of the 3. I only have 2 hands, and the boss lady is going to sit on the couch and do nothing. But now she's laughing at me. Now she's going to throw something at me. But we also have a gray one, and I'll leave this one in my hand. I like this one. But we also have the gray ones. We have the gray ones, the red ones, and the distress flags. They're BA shields. They're a lens protector. They're solid. And they'll also be used for training. If you can see in there, it's darkened out. They just simply go on with a little strap here on the side, I believe. And these came in today on the G1. As you see, it hooks over the top of the lens of the face piece. That's the back side of it. Here's the front side of it. Hook it up on top of the face piece. Take this and this, and it's on your lens. Oops, that side didn't quite get that side. So puts on your lens, protects it from the scratches. If you have a mask bag, protecting it from that. If you're using it for training, it blackens it out rather than put saran wrap or something in or on it or whatever. They just came in today. Again, we have the distress flag look. If you look at that one, and we have the red and the gray. Actually have them in stock right now. All our product specialists, they have a meeting every Wednesday morning, and every Wednesday morning, I'm just got to check. I got a text message. I'm making sure that I didn't miss somebody. They're going to have that in their morning meeting on Wednesday morning, and they'll talk about them and get all the product specialists one of these out to them so they can go out there. We believe that the hot item's going to be the distress flag. Around that $45 range, I believe, is where they're going to be at. You got to talk to your product specialist. Bob always gives Bob deals, and then most of them scream at me or yell at me or throw a rock at me the next time I see them. Why'd you say it was that cheap? How expensive are those? I don't know. They don't tell me anything anymore. I just get to do Bob talk, and most of the time get Mary to throw things at me while I'm doing Bob talk. So those are the two things I had tonight. Was the Class A, Class B foam. Yes, there are foams out there that state they are AB foam, yet if you really look at it, it's a hydrocarbon B only. So understand what you're getting when you're getting an AB foam, and how effective is it when you're doing a Class B fire. That's the big part of it. Protect your firefighters out there. That's the beginning. It's pretty good out there. So just know that. Again, then all of a sudden we're going to a fire, so we want our face piece. Got a nice clean shaven face. Get a good seal on your mask. We're protected as best we can. Comes right back to I made some phone calls today on service. Flow test your face pieces. I don't care what manufacturer it is. Sandry Fire will only flow test MSA breathing apparatus, but we should all be flow test our SCBAs annually just to make sure they're working right, flowing properly, breathing properly, things like that. So it's a big part of it, is that whole circle of what's most important in your firehouse. Number one is your people. So keep your people safe. Make sure your people are safe. Again, try and stay clean shaven, so you get a good seal when you're out there serving your community, when you're wearing your pager, and you're trying to make sure that you're giving them the best service that you can within your community. So that's a big part of it. But these it's BA shields. I'm assuming badass. They're really nice. I'm assuming we can get them for anybody's face piece. We've got them obviously because we're an MSA distributor. We got them for the G1 face piece. So all you G1 users out there, get a couple in your firehouse and try them. See what they are. At $45, $46, $48 pop on 40, mid-40s-ish. You buy 10 of them, that's $400. We've spent $400 in foolish places than that. Mark my word on that one. So look at those. Try them out. Get your product specialist in your area, whether it's out in western Nebraska. Chris Rich, who I think is on vacation yet. I think him and his lovely bride Diane went south to Mexico somewhere to, I like to say, decompress, which they all deserve that. They bust their asses out there. Ooh, can I say that on Facebook? I'll probably get Facebook police on me. But they bust their butts out there, making sure that you folks get what you need, and you've been great. Everybody's been patient with all the different products that are still sometimes on back order and backlogs and time delays and parts missing, and they wonder why I don't drink. That is water. Mary makes me drink water, so that's what I get. So, but also one word out there too. I got to throw it out to the folks at convention. It's on my list. I got 3 things: foam, the BA shields, and convention. Convention this month is actually this week. Excuse me, even this month. This week is in Iowa Falls. Thank you for the Iowa Falls bunch for hosting it again. I think they'll do it a 3rd year here. Everything's in place. They did a fabulous job last year. I'm sure they're going to do a fabulous job again this year. We got quite a few people up there. Dean Verba, Vice President, 5th Vice, man. He'll appreciate that, I'm sure. Dean Verba from Cedar Mount Auburn has helped host the amazing race this year. Sandry Fire is doing an amazing race without Bob and Mary. I'm not sure. It's probably going to go a lot better because then Bob doesn't stop to talk to people. But Dean had stepped up and said that they would host it, make sure that it's all running. We got a few people from the Clinton County area. I know Coates is up, Jeremy Coates is up there, and Kent Bricks is up there from Grand Mound. I'm not sure who all went. Bob and Mary are not there this year. Mary chose not to go because Bob's going moose hunting. So,
but rumor has it, if you look hard enough, you might find Bob.
Oh, there might be a Bob thing out there. Ooh, and it's not Bob talk on Tuesday night. They probably got a full size cutout paper thing of me. I don't know what they got. It could be something. Who knows? But be careful, because if I drink too much, I'll be under a blanket. So I don't know what they've done. So it's interesting. So, but yeah, look for that. Enjoy the amazing race, Miss Mary. It's on Friday night.
Friday at 1 o'clock.
Friday at 1 o'clock. Friday afternoon. So Dean Verba at Cedar Mount Auburn. He's got a little bitty camper. It's about this big. Well, I guess maybe this big. Dean just barely fits in it. Cute little camper. But go to Cedar Mount Auburn. Even go over to the Clinton County or the DeWitt site, Grand Mound site. I know Jeremy Coates took both of our pop-up 10 by 10 awning, whatever they call them things. But he's got them up there, Sandry Fire, MSA, stuff up there. So they should have a lot of fun. They've got Mary put together a bunch of prizes. So thank you, everybody who are customers and future customers if there's a customer out there we've dropped the ball, we'd like to mend the fence because somebody dropped the ball. And we admit sometimes that we're not perfect. Bob's perfect. We all know that. So they're over there laughing at me. So Mary obviously knows what's at convention where you might have a Bob sighting. So be careful what you wish for out there in convention because it may happen. So now they're really laughing over there. She's going to show me, but she won't show
I'm
you.
not gonna show you.
She'll wait till I get off Bob Talk.
No, I won't show him. I will not show him. I
So,
will not.
I just-
I need you all to take pictures and send them to him because it's going to be funny.
Put it
Just
on-
have a little
send
fun
it
with it. Put it on the convention website. It'll be fine. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Send it to Laura and Sarah and Alicia and
And he really has no
Ethan,
idea.
and-
So
I'll find out
Have
when
fun.
we get off here because I'll make her show me. So, but have fun out in convention. Everybody be safe at convention. I know the Iowa Falls group; they're a good group of people, and they will definitely pull it off again. Great, they'll have a great time. Well, I know we'll have Neil Staple Camp there, and I'll have Rod Tractor there, and I'm not sure who else from the San Diego Fire. If anybody else will make it up that way, so. But thank you, Iowa Falls, again for hosting it this year, and will be a third year next year. Who knows where Bob may be? You might see a twin Bob sighting next year. Let's hope not. Mary says they can't. The world can't handle two Bobs. That's for sure. But again, I'm going to grab this.
tell him good night.
The BA lenses, lens covers, BA shields. Distress flag, they think that's going to be the hot seller. I think it is too. It's pretty cool. So you can get a plain gray one. You can get a nice plain red one.
Get a clear one.
They've got clear ones also?
They've got a transparent smoke one that's similar.
Transparent smoke one. My son Brett is here having supper with us tonight that simulates smoke. So maybe that's the one to get so you can protect your face piece lens and also have it for training purposes. So comes right back to though what Bob always gets on his soapbox. Stay clean shaven.
How about we
Helps
vote?
protect you.
Bob,
Uh-oh.
stop talking.
Oh, Bob Talk. Bob Talk. Bob Talk is 32 minutes, almost 33 minutes in. So thank you, everybody. Class A, Class B foam, BA shields, and most importantly of this month is Iowa Firefighters Convention. Everybody be safe out there, have fun, and enjoy. So as the new saying is for the last few months, Bob out.